Hello and welcome to this week's mailbag. I'm Doug Kide. Hello and welcome to this week's mailbag. I'm Doug Kide. If you have a question for me, you can tweet it to me at Doug Kide using the hashtag MailDog, and I will try to get around to answering it. First question here comes from R. Woodbeck, who asks, does eventual activation of Duke Dawson push Jason McCourty back to safety, compete with John Jones for slot coverage, or replace oft-injured Eric Rowe in rotation? I think it could be a while before Duke Dawson even plays once he is activated off injured reserve, just because he is behind and he really didn't get a lot of training camp reps because he was hurt for most of the summer. So I think it could take a few weeks for Duke Dawson to actually get active for a game. Once he is active, I think that he'll compete mostly with Jonathan Jones for those slot snaps. Duke Dawson was known as a slot cornerback coming out of Florida. Patriots might as well see if he can be better in that role than John Jones. Second question comes from @Flash Season, who asks, what's your assessment of Adrian Clayborn's performance thus far? I think Clayborn's been fine. He had his first sack of the season on Sunday against the Bears. He still has a tendency to run past quarterbacks a little bit. He's whiffed on some sacks. He actually whiffed on a few sacks against the Bears, against Mitchell Trubisky. But there's also been times when he's brought pressure at opportune times. It's either forced incompletions or interceptions. So overall, probably a slightly below average performance so far from Adrian Clayborn, but he definitely has a lot of time to ramp that up, and he's certainly been better than what the Patriots got out of Cassius Marsh last year. I know that's kind of a low bar to set, but he's definitely been better than Marsh was in 2017. Last question here comes from John, who asks, if the Pats play Hoyer on Monday and rest Brady, do they still win by 2 touchdowns? Well, I don't see that happening, John. I think they probably would. I think that Brian Hoyer is absolutely the second best quarterback in this game, well ahead of Derek Anderson, well ahead of Nathan Peterman. I think Julian Edelman's probably the third best quarterback in this game. Ted Karras might be the fourth best quarterback in this game. The Bills' quarterback situation is a disaster. Derek Anderson, I should say, was signed off the street just a few weeks ago. Nathan Peterman is one of the worst quarterbacks who's been in the NFL in this century. So definitely not an ideal situation for the Bills. I think that they would pretty much die to have Brian Hoyer right now. And if Brian Hoyer was the starter for the Patriots, I think they probably still would win by at least 10 points. I'll give you that.